Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumen and today we are back in Dragon Age the Veilguard for something a little different. Now I've uploaded my full character creation video. It is 6 hours long and it covers everything in this entire character creation system. But in said video I spent an obscene amount of time just talking about one thing. The hair. I couldn't get over it. I can't get over it. I probably won't get over it. The hair in Dragon Age the Veilguard is just so good that it deserves its own video. And I just want to sit here a little bit and I want to chill and I want to spin some of these character models around and I want to look at the hair with you guys. Alright? So if you want to do that too, let's do it together. I want to talk about a few things in the meantime as well though. There's a few things I'd like to discuss concerning the hair and concerning, I would say, how far we've come. For the purposes of this, let's just jump into a nice looking character over here on the human side of things. Let's take this lady. Let's go to the hair section, which I just passed by over here. And let's oogle at it. And let me tell you that when I jumped in here, I was pretty shocked. So I saw the trailers, I saw how it looked in the trailers, I saw how they showed the game off initially before we actually got our hands on it. I even saw some previews, you know, I saw a few things that a few people said before we actually had access to this and before the full reviews came out, and they didn't really play it up quite as much as I thought they would. I thought they'd talk about it a lot more, like a whole lot more. But there just wasn't much of anything. There were perhaps one or two videos where they sort of, you know, spoke about it a little bit. And I don't know. I just feel like it needs so much more attention. Now, it's probably changed. At this point, there are probably a bunch of videos up just talking about the hair. Because I've seen a couple of tweets. I've seen a couple of posts on Reddit where they show off a certain scene in the bar that is literally like the opening scene of the game. I've watched it on my PC. I've tried it out for myself because I didn't believe it. You know, I saw it and I was like, yeah, okay, that's got to be like pre-rendered or something. There's no way. This is like some sort of witchcraft that they pull in here. But no, I jumped in. I made a character. I chose, I think it was actually this specific hairstyle. I think it was on a male elf or something like that. And I was presented with a best-in-class showing of hair physics. I had never in my time gaming seen anything like it. And you know, this whole hair system right here that I'm not actually showing off very well right now, it just has so much going for it. It's not just the physics that they added, it's the lighting when you're in the game. You know, when you enter different areas, when you have different forms or styles of lighting that shine down on there, it's the combination of the physics that they have with the lighting engine that they have, with the vibrant colors that they have, with the choices that they made for things like texture work and the amount of strands that are visible, you know, the density of the hair, all these different things that come together. It is just the best that I've seen. And it's pretty well deserved because you can see that most of it was intentional. I mean, look at this one, for example, right here. It's pretty nice. It's not the kind of hairstyle you'd usually pick, right? But it looks decent. However, if you look a little closer, it's so much more than just decent. If you look at some of the extra details that they added that, let me point out, they did not have to add. Now, when I zoom in, look at the smaller bits and pieces of hair sticking out here that perhaps they couldn't make their way into the ponytail or into the bun, or perhaps they're just the frayed little hairs, the little bits and pieces that broke off, you know, over time. They've got those little extras there. They got them right on the edge here where the hair meets the scalp to make it look so much more natural. They've got the discoloration of the scalp where it's like sort of, it looks a little darker because of the shade in there where the hair comes in. It's the most natural looking transition for hair that I've ever seen, and it carries on. It's like a pretty decent constant all the way through all these hairstyles here. And again, it's not just the one type of hair that looks like this, it's all the hair. And all of them are different. They didn't just take the one style and copy paste it onto the other, because if you look at the joint over there versus the one that we just looked at like over here, it's different. That's just not the same. And I mean, they even managed to make the shorter hairstyles feel different and interesting and varied versus the longer ones. Like, you've got the tied up hair feeling like it's sort of stiffer than the long and loose hair, you know? Because you've got a specific style that you've got cooked up there. Then you got the long hair that sort of really just goes for it when you spin it, and it really goes for it, and I love that. I feel like a handful of years ago, probably more than a handful, it's actually over a decade ago at this point, having something like this and just the simple act of spinning a character with hair like this would probably either slow down your PC to a crawl to a point where it would barely be moving, or it would just crash it entirely if they had to attempt this. Now, I do not know if you guys remember, but about 10 years ago, it's just over 10 years ago now actually, Tomb Raider came out. I'm talking about, this one's not so impressive, by the way. This, I mean, it's cool. It's like, there's something really stiff going on in there. It's a different kind of physics, but I'm not too... Anyway, Tomb Raider came out, right? So about a decade ago, Tomb Raider came out. Tomb Raider 2013, that was the first of the rebooted series. That game had a very specific, new and revolutionary hair engine, where they basically had this awesome hair physics that, I mean, in all honesty, comparing to what we have like right now, in this day and age, in 2024, it's pretty impressive. But they had this revolutionary new hair system. It was called Tray FX or something like that. I'm not sure if it's Tray or Tress FX, but TRESS FX for the hair. I think it was an AMD thing. But they had this, and that single option, by simply enabling it, just turning that option on, you killed your game's performance. It, on my PC back then, it subtracted a good 25 to 30 FPS from the grand total. Like, you just tanked it hard. But, you know, thinking about it now, in some ways it was worth it. And if you had the PC to sort of like carry it at the time, then I feel like, yeah, like more power to you, and you would have gotten nice enjoyment out of that. But that system back then actually did relatively well, and most likely paved the way for the stuff that we've seen here and now. And then they had pretty decent physics where they had sort of the pretty nice movement on the hair, but like nowhere near this, obviously. And they had like a decent smoothness to Lara Croft's hair. They had a overall sort of realistic look and feel, but it glitched out a lot. It bugged a lot. It didn't sort of make contact with the skin and like the shoulders and with the scalp very nicely. And like when the wind blew, then it was like, it was just on its own mission. It sort of headed off in a direction and it just went for it, you know? Nothing to do with where the actual wind was blowing, you know, but it did that thing. In this, and again, if I like draw your attention back to that scene in the bar at the start, the hair physics is so fully and completely realized and so fully and completely like implemented and set up that it moves about as naturally as you'd expect a real head of hair to move. I'm going to actually take this one now and I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can look at it. And it's phenomenal. I was shocked by how beautifully it just fell onto the shoulders, how beautifully when your character sort of does a turn and it just flicks over the shoulder and then it sits there for a moment and then it drops back into place, how beautifully and realistically they did that is phenomenal. A couple of years ago, I'm not sure if it was a couple at this point, I mean, time recently has felt like one big blur, so I apologize, but Hogwarts Legacy came out. That was probably last year or something, maybe early last year, I don't remember. And in Hogwarts Legacy, there were a few styles where I sort of gasped aloud at the beauty and the splendor of these styles. I thought to myself, my God, this is it. This is the next step. And I mean, looking back at it now, I do believe I was most likely sort of correct with that, with what I said about it. Because at the time, the quality of that system was just phenomenal. They had the texture work and then the look and feel of the styles nailed down. I remember there being an afro in that game. I remember putting sort of like a violety color, but like a dark violet on it. And I remember just staring at that for like 10 minutes straight, thinking to myself, wow, this is phenomenal. And this is crisp and clear and neat and tidy. And I went and checked. It's true. It's all true. It looked great. However, they did not even attempt the hair physics in that game. Like, not really. They didn't bother. So, you know, you were left with this beauty, and it really was beautiful, but it felt dead. And when your character moved around, it felt mostly static, and it felt mostly sort of lifeless, you know? But in this, man, there's so much interaction with basically everything, and I'm just so impressed. And I wanted to hear what you guys thought about all of this and what your experiences have been. And you know, I don't think that at its core this is a triumph for just the hair. I think it's so much more than that. You know, in like Hogwarts, they had the hair. It looked good. You threw an afro on your character, and for real, man, you could step out there and your hair would look good anywhere. But it looked good anywhere because it looked the same everywhere. Yeah, it looked good, of course, but it didn't really change. In this, what I've noticed in the little bit that I've played the game and in all the posts that I've checked out, in all the promotional material and stuff, in all the people's sort of praise that they've thrown at this system and the graphics of this game and the overall engine, you can just see that there's that much more to it, where when your character steps out into the sun, you see the lighting just fully suck it up and interact with it as completely as any system ever has. And it just blows my mind how far we've come. It blows my mind. You know, it's the kind of game where you can actually choose a style that is, and it's convenient that we're on a male character here, so if I choose a style that's, as an example, let's just take sort of like a neat and tidy style like this one, okay? It's not really that neat and tidy, but you get what I'm saying. We'll take this one, and then I'll quickly just throw, let's say, a nice warm color on here, and I'm going to throw a beard on here. It's going to look a little strange, I'm sorry, but, you know, you just take something like this, right? Let's match it to the hair quickly, and let's match it to the hair quickly. And then you step out and you just let your character exist in the world and you watch it. Because of RTX, because of ray tracing that they have on the game, when the sun hits the character's model from a certain angle, you see all the different rays of light moving through there. You see this volume and this depth that you otherwise would not see in a game. And you know what the most shocking thing of all of this is? Is that people with relatively modern PCs, people with decent setups, I'm not talking about like 10K PCs, I'm talking about like, you know, relatively decent PCs that can run DLSS and that can run ray tracing, they can run this game maxed out, they can have all the hair effects on, and they can experience all of this for themselves, and it is just truly something phenomenal. I mean, the game itself, the performance of the game is rock solid. The way that they present it and the visual fidelity of the game is rock solid. And the whole experience altogether, it just sticks, you know, all the way through. So you can say what you want about the story, about the parts of the game that you don't like, about the gameplay. But like, the engine is a marvel. It is truly one of the greatest of our time. And I'm loving every moment of it. So I had to come in here and just talk about this for a moment. I had to just sort of like, you know, share what I think. And I had to just fish a little bit. Because I'd love to hear from you guys if you have seen something better. If you have seen something that's as impressive. Because this right here, oh my God. You know, like I can't get over how amazing it is. I can't get over how far we've come in gaming. And in game development, and in graphics, and in the technology that we as gamers have at our fingertips. I can't get over it. They've done a phenomenal job, so I hope someone at BioWare sees this. I hope one of the modelers, the animators, the designers sees this and they're like, wow, man, yeah, that's what we want from people. A little bit of love and recognition, because that's what I think they deserve for this. Again, despite all the other stuff, any and all sort of negativity that the game has garnered, this is worth talking about. This, what I'm looking at right now. So, yeah, dudes, thanks. I just wanted to talk about this a little bit, and I wanted to show some of this stuff off, because I truly believe this is special enough to show off. And, you know, it's not even just the hair. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this and I'm like, oof, man, yeah, hair. But it's the facial hair as well. It's like, it's everything that just comes together. And I say this again because it's like kind of important, right? This is something that that you will understand if you're a gamer, if you have been a gamer for any significant period of time. You know, something like this, I throw the beard on there, and I throw, like, let's pick a long style and just pop it on this dude's head. Something like this would have, let's say, a handful of years ago, just destroyed a PC. And I mean, look at it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. Look at the depth of color. Look at how you have that beautiful sort of, it's like a golden brown that I've got on the character's head there. Look at that beautiful color, and look how it's changing as I move it around. How you've seen like the darker roots there. And look at, once again, when I swing it like this, how it settles back over his shoulders. Yeah, you've seen a little bit of inconsistencies here, but like, damn, dude. Isn't that great? Isn't that crazy? I don't even know where we can go from here. And then, like, it's all just interacting. The beard is moving too. It's all just going together. I love it. So yeah, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I have so much good stuff to say about this, and man, it'll never get old. I'm not gonna, like, let me not joke around for a second here. Let me tell you the real deal. I've got like 16, 17 hours in Dragon Age Veilguard, and I've still not made it past the introduction segment of the game. I've spent all that time in character creation, creating characters, marveling at the beauty, and just enjoying it. You know, basking in it, soaking it up. I promise you, it's a statistic. You know, I've got that. I can show you. Look here. 16.2 hours, and I have not left character creation. Isn't that insane? Yeah, that alone should say something to you. Yeah. This guy's obsessed. This guy's a nutter. True. Hey, dudes, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the company. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you just enjoyed chilling with me for a little bit, talking about hair physics in games. And I hope you have something interesting to say about it too, because I bet you do. I bet you've got that one specific game that to you changed everything. That to you sort of stood out as a beacon of the progress we've made. For me, this is the new beacon. This is the new gold standard. And this is probably what I'm going to be referring to a whole bunch going forward. So I'm hoping that other game devs see this and they start working on doing something as special as this for us to enjoy as well. Hey, thank you once again for watching. Give this video a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. Show it to your mom, show it to your kids, show it to your grandma, show it to your dog and cat. They'll probably enjoy the hair as well. Yeah, you can find my links below. My coffee page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. Go well. Happy that.